Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, we're about to play 4v4 as the Magyars civilization on the map Arena between my viewers as part of my weekly Twitch TV live streams. If you want to get in on this, you can find my live streaming schedule by going to my Twitch page and scrolling underneath the video player, or following me on Facebook and Twitter. One of the stream Hunted and Wanted, he says, I actually have the original CD with Aoe1 and Rise of Rome, Aoe2, and the Conquerors. That's awesome, man. I still have my CD copy somewhere. I found my Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne chest recently. So I'm playing as the Magyars in honor of some of the new changes in patch 5.5. I won't be going over all the changes in this video, but if people have any individual questions, I'll try to answer them while I play. Just showcase the newly buffed Magyars. I feel like the game's going to lag a lot, but we'll see. I think that the Magyars, it's been overhyped by some members of the community exactly how weak they were. I think that in general, the Magyars needed buffs, which is good because they got them. But I think that they weren't as bad as some people said. There has been a mixed expert consensus on it. And the draft tournament results will skew that, because you would never pick a civ in a tournament like that unless it was the best, right? So, oh, what? You troll. Okay, well, yeah, you would never pick a civ that wasn't the best. So what we knew is that the Magyars were not the best, but the question was how weak were they? And it was good to see them getting some buffs, because I think that they needed them. And as far as buffs go, I don't think they were an interesting set of buffs. I think I'm generally happy with them in that I think the Magyars are probably in a very good spot now. I haven't had too much of a chance to play with them, which is why I'm doing it now. And during this video, I'll be walking you all through the thought process behind my decisions and giving you my commentary on the game general strategies. See how this one goes. I feel like the Magyars kind of affected them in all the right areas that they needed some buffs. The discount on their scouts being increased by from 10% to 15% helps their feudal age scout rush, which was already strong. I think it's a common misconception that the fact that the Magyars' early game strategy appears to be fairly linear is a drawback. That's not necessarily the case. You're going for a scout rush depending on the map, really, not just because you're Magyars. And if it's good because of the map, then it's going to be even better if you're the Magyars and you have your discounted scouts and stuff. And who's attacking me? What? So yeah, I think that's a little bit of a misconception. And the 10% increased discount, 5%, sorry, is actually pretty solid. It helps them out a lot. You save a lot of food. It's a big discount for scouts. I think, though, that probably the most significant buff out of all of them, or, no, I don't know, they're all significant in their own right, is the blacksmith is no longer required to get the free forging, iron casting, and blast furnace upgrades that they have. Because it used to be required a blacksmith first. That really bolsters their scout cav rush. And it also bolsters their rush once you get to the feudal age if you have any leftover men-at-arms. Like, it's a good bonus. It buffs their spearmen. Free forging is really, really important for when you're going for things, when you're dealing with enemy knights. It allows you to kill them in fewer hits. Balls. That's going to be a tough rhino lure. Right next to Big Al. Where's my other rhino? Going for a fast castle age. We'll try and lure this guy. Second. Alright. Should be fine. Sucks that I have to open my wall like this, but I don't have much of a choice. So I'm going for Fast Castle Age. If you want the build order, then you can watch my Night Rush tutorial, which is, find a link to in the video description below, or just by searching for it on my channel. I have a full playlist of tutorials, expert games, everything you need to get started. You can basically adapt the Night Rush build order in that video to, you can adapt it slightly to basically do everything. It's a good foundation point. Oh, there's my other rhino. Okay. Good to know for reference. So I actually set this up pretty well. Normally I make this mistake while streaming because my attention's divided between trying to provide a meaningful commentary and also playing the game. A sentence I haven't said in years, maybe. Jeez. Ooh, he's got the wall at the back. Nice. I usually make the mistake during the build order of when you're going for your first boar, which you can go back and you can see the timing of that. Usually I have a water buffalo or a sheep or something underneath my town center that I'm still gathering from at that point, and ideally you don't. Ideally you have all of those shepherds on just the boar, which is a rhino in this case. It's just reskins, same thing. And that's so you don't waste any food. You have as few food sources decaying as possible at one time. So, nice little thing. I'm gonna grab a second board now. Let's see. Really hard to multitask. Knock Trockbian says, why are you streaming on HD instead of Voobly and promote the expansions? They're all based there. I mean, I would prefer bug fixing HD instead of giving new expansions you have to pay for. So, I answered that probably when you weren't here. It's going to be really difficult for me to answer a good question like that while I'm simultaneously trying to play the game, so bear with me. I believe that official Microsoft support is really good for the franchise. I've always believed that. So, I have been playing on HD, and I've been supporting them. That doesn't mean that I have not supported or done any content for Voobly and that I just don't. That's not true. I started the first Age of Empires 2 YouTube channel, which was GameSpy Arcade and Voobly content, and I still cast on Voobly. I've been a very loyal supporter of that. The things are not mutually exclusive. I can play in Aoe2 HD and be a reasonable, normal person and support Voobly and also acknowledge the flaws in HD. You will find few people as honest and critical as me of AoE2 HD because I've played it a lot. I was the only streamer with the balls to stream AoE2 HD all the way up until the official Microsoft-sponsored tournaments in December 2016. So I have a lot of experience with how bad this is. There are people who... So yeah, it's not a mutually exclusive thing, and some people also say, you know, oh, well, I don't experience issues in AoE2 HD, therefore those issues do not exist. That is also not true. I promote Voobly all the time. I just play on HD because I like the expansions. Only recently have the expansions been implemented in full on Voobly. And prior to this, prior to user patch 1.5, they had to go for some workarounds for some of the civ bonuses, and it just wasn't the same feel, and I really wanted to make sure that I was getting the same quality of awesome expansions that I love. So it's the Forgotten expansions that I really enjoy. Now that they're on Voobly, you know, the question is why would I not play on there all the time? And again, it's complicated because it's kind of like this weird, like, legal gray area, and I like official Microsoft support. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to ever cast like there or do some Wololo Kingdom stuff. I'd love to. Someone invites me to do some casting, I'll do it, man. The question is would I... The real question is, would I ever, like, switch over there full time? And I don't know. It depends on the future development for AoE2 HD and the franchise as a whole. It heavily, heavily depends on that. You know, I think people on the internet typically have too linear a way of thinking when it comes to most general matters. They think that things are mutually exclusive, and for some reason, things that are just should not be. Like, for example, because I play Dota 2 doesn't mean I can't play League of Legends and enjoy that too. It doesn't matter. I play on AoE2 HD, but I acknowledge its flaws, and I support the other platforms. So hopefully that makes sense. It's a good question, though, Knock and Trocken, and I hope I answered that well, despite being very distracted. Knock and Trocken says, I understand that, but I don't get how Microsoft throws out new civs and new graphics and doesn't care about major bugs. I totally get you, man. And it drives me insane. Absolutely insane. They fix bugs pretty regularly, but they also add in new ones, and they fix the bugs really slowly, and they've done a terrible job with that. And I'm just an honest guy with that. Like, I've been routinely disappointed with the scope of development. It's been bad. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time. The game has been it's still worse than it was in 3.9, which is really saying something. It is getting better. I have to acknowledge that. Credit where credit's due. And I'm really, like, again, I'm always straightforward. It's not mutually exclusive. You know, doesn't mean I can't say good job when good job is due. And in this case, I think that Skybox and Microsoft both deserve my thanks and support for finally adding the much-needed password system to Aoe2 HD lobbies. Thank God. That really needed to happen. I'm overjoyed. It's really helpful and necessary feature for streamers, tournaments, and whatnot, because my friends list is full. So that's great. And the game has gotten better, but it still is grossly disappointing. Chi Blood says, "You do, Rez. Thank you for your continued support and love for the game." I appreciate it, Chi Blood. I appreciate everyone's support. Know that my situation is complicated. Things are not mutually exclusive. I feel your pain, man. And I'm totally open to everyone's like input and insights. I just ask that we remain respectful. As long as we do, it's great. Knock and Trocken says, "Thank you for the answer. You may now continue with the game. I see you're trying to get all the negative 1,800 players in the lobby while being 1,800 plus yourself." So that's not true. So that's also a really common misconception. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to answer your questions. I try to be really interactive. I think that's the whole point of Twitch. Why would you stream on Twitch and if you don't care about the viewers? So that's a really common misconception that I play with people who are less than 1,800 rated to get easy wins. I actually lose the vast majority of these games. My win rate is actually so bad, it's a running gag in the stream, that I lose these games all the time. So I have like a positive win rate in 1,800 plus games, but I have like a 30 or 25% win rate in the less than 1,800 games. So why am I playing with these people? And why do I lose all those games? Well, I'm probably going to lose this one. Generally speaking, Knock and Trocken, I team up with the person that is the worst in the game to offset me, and that almost always fails. Also, these games aren't ranked. I'll have you know, I earned my ranking, at least on Voobly with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I earned it on HD with just tears. The games were mostly easy, but I was crying a lot with the forced desyncs, which is why I never stopped playing ranked games. But on Voobly, that was fun, and that was a lot of work. So I generally lose all these games, and it's just people like to play with me. And the teams it's just difficult to balance them. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just the teams are difficult to balance, and I'm just trying to play with a lot of people. People like it when I play with them, so. Okay, I'll put the TC here, I like that. Pro tip, deleting your walls makes you look like a worse player to your teammates because it lowers your score. Lord Hardy says, "Thank you for saying what you said about interactivity with viewers. I feel like a lot of streamers kind of lose sight of that sometimes." Well, I appreciate the sentiment, Lord Hardy, and thank you for saying that. Likewise, I really feel like I have one of the best viewer bases on Twitch and YouTube, and I attribute that to the fact that I actually care and I interact and interface with people. I never want to lose that. When I started my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel, I wanted to come in doing the things that meant a lot to me as a viewer. And take everything that I learned. Because really, I think that, as stressful as I might imagine my life is, everyone has their own demons. Like, everyone has things that just stress them out and they have bad days, and I want to provide an escape for that. A community where people can feel friendly and get away from the people who force desyncs. So likewise, every single time, and I don't have time to respond to everyone's comments on YouTube, but like I read them all, I read the chat, I do. It's very important to me. And I would say that no matter what size I get, I will never lose that. But my channel has not grown at all, so you got nothing to worry about. But a worst case scenario, which is actually best case scenario, in that my channel goes to the gym and actually gets some growth. Like I would do like slow mode or something like that. The feel will never change. Very, very important to me. As far as general strategy goes, I am going for like an economic boom type build. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's arena, right? I'm surrounded by stone walls. And this means that rushing me is going to be relatively difficult. It's going to force combat to begin kind of in the castle age. And so I can get away with a more greedy build like such. Hopefully makes sense. One of the reasons why I talk through my thought process so much is because every time I try to get into a game online, Like, I was like, oh, I want to play some StarCraft 2. What is this shit unit pathing? God. I'd watch all these games, and the casters would never... They, like, explain what's going on, but they would explain what's going on in the context of someone who kind of already knows the basics of the game, and that made it very difficult for me to get into it. So I always try to do a more complete job explaining things. Ooh. XG, my friend, you don't need this. You have stone walls. Uh-oh. Well, this is why I lose all the games. Oh. Reaper says my demon is escapism. We all got our demons, man. But Twitch streams are loads of fun, and I wish that more streamers actually cared about their audience. I really think that most people on the internet are not jerks, and that people are usually mean when they feel like they're not being listened to. And that's just something I've learned from years of community work. I think that's generally the case. Is people are mean when they feel like they aren't being listened to. But, I mean, everyone needs a friend, man. And I want to be their friend to everybody. And I also want to provide a community where you can just log in and just make friends. But what I do is a lot of work and tiring. Like, I am, physically a pretty ill person. Like, I have really severe allergies and asthma, so most of the time I feel like absolute dog shit. But, no, not most of the time. It's just during, like, the summer and spring. But it's, like, perpetually... Imagine having the flu for 3 months every year. So what I do is exhausting. So every time I get a donation, a comment, or a nice comment, it does make all the work I put in worthwhile. So thank you. You know who you are. But usually I thank the people, too. Kyrus Cloudine says, I try to do a more complete job explaining things, and that, with your humor, is why you're the greatest Aoe2 streamer. Thank you, Kyrus Cloudine. Appreciate it. It also warms my heart to see whenever I'm, like, mentioned somewhere on, like, Reddit, for example, or people link to my stuff. It's nice. Most people don't remember that I made the first Aoe2 like YouTube channel. I'm really attached to the community. I did take a hiatus, but Aoe2 HD surprised me. Then it horrified me. And then it like surprised me again. It was like, oh my god, Aoe2 HD edition, animated water, whoa! And then it was like, oh my god, that Doubt versus the Viper show match. Cut class for that. But then the new expansions came out, and I was like, "Whoa! Who's this Burt Beekman guy? This new expansion's sick." I remember playing that, and I was like blown away. This actually feels like something that Ensemble Studios would make. And now, lo and behold, they even have some Ensemble Studios employees. It's great. I really love the new expansions. And I'm gonna keep supporting this game. Keep supporting Age of Empires, Voobly, everything, man. But also, it's so very, utterly important to me that people support the content I do for games beyond just AoE2. You might only like me for my AoE2 content, but, you know, people come and go, and it's important that I provide them with something that they can watch once they get bored of AoE. So it does happen to some people, but more important, you know, it grows the community, it exposes people from a wide variety of other communities to AoE2. Everywhere you go, you'll meet people who have fond memories of Age of Empires 2, but have no idea that people still play it. And by supporting that content, you're making sure that more people get exposed to AoE2. So you're doing a service. Trying to figure out how I want to orient all these. This is fine. And also, you're supporting my sanity and just being a nice person, so thank you. The thing you can do to help me the most is to give my content for other games a chance. I would say that is one of the things you can do the most. As well as like miscellaneous things like, you know, not using ad blocker, being an awesome person, sharing my stuff around, saying WOLO to random people, replacing all your lols in chats with people who aren't familiar with AoE2 with 11s. Of course you see the lion. Oh. Ha! Okay. Guess he's dead. Rip that guy. So right now, I'm just trying to get to my goal of 100 plus villagers as fast as humanly possible. You may have noticed I'm doing a couple things here that will improve your game overall. This is normally when I would say, you can watch my Night Rush tutorial if you just want to learn more, but you've probably already seen it. That being said, a couple miscellaneous tips I don't really mention in there is that I am liberally using gather points. Really helps out a lot. That way you want as little idle time as possible with your villagers and whatnot. So, I hate my base layout because I'm like really boxed in here. Yeah, this is gonna be brutal. Ah, shit balls, man. Fucking knew it. I knew it! The end is coming! Alright. Figures just as I open my walls. I fucking knew it, mate. Hey, you play enough Aoe2, you know, you get jaded to that, of course. Everyone saw that coming. Like, I think everyone did. Oh, come on, are those? Oh no, those are mine. Oh, those are not mine. Oh, you murder holes. Oh, what do I need to stop this? Well, this is why I put this castle here for the record, and why I'm orienting my base like this. But I am going to block this area off. What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? More racks, archer ranges. This is fine. No, he's not attacking the vills. Thank you for letting me get my upgrades. Oh, man. Okay, so. What do we do here? The murder holes. No, this is, Henry Plagenet is too good at this game and balancing my teams. Oh, you guys see this sick not play? What? I'm gonna kill my own siege workshop with this blast damage. What? Did not do that I completely did that intentionally. Are you kidding me? This is the easiest game of my life. The pro tips. What? You gotta be kidding me, man. That's so sick. The Mangonel, he spawned and he's like protected by this really tiny plant that you can't just step over. That's stupid. Oh, it's so sick. Completely intentional. Okay, well, I really need to set up a better defensive... Is there something like blocking me? What the fuck is this? What is this? Don't have enough room to build anything! Hey, Dios mio, man! Who are these people? Alright. Conscription. Okay, well. I am actually getting help. What is this? That is good things. Exterior, make more villagers. What are you doing? You need villagers. Finish faster, conscription. This is fine. Okay. I almost went for siege engineers. Should I have gone for siege engineers there? No. I just feel like the game's moving so slowly. Is that the relay connection? Okay, well. Need shreds. I wanted conscription first. I don't know why I can't build this one here. Something... Oh, it's that farm. Where's the other good spot to build this? It's here. Nice. Again, I'm just trying to establish a nice defense. Rock solid defense. This wins you games. As soon as this trip comes out, I will get Elite Magyar Hussar. And, just get this. Okay, well... I'll make the trade. You may have my guys. I think I have basically enough fills, though. So this castle's dead, which is great. It's very rare that I get a stomp in my favor. But that's good, because I don't want one. I want fun, balanced, interesting games. Chem or Siege Engineers? Siege Engineers. Not an easy decision, mind you. Okay, so undeploy all these bad boys. I'm running into some problems though, where I have nowhere to build, which is bad. I need more of these, and this. I need like Cavalry Archers and stuff. I can't engage with these Magyar Hussars, but... Oh. Well, I must. Should be able to pick all these off, right? Okay. Oh. Interesting. Or intéressant, as the French say. Just don't have space. Parthian tactics. Fuck. Oh no! Does he know I'm stuck? How is this castle alive? He's wasting so much stone. You madman. Why don't the Magyars have guilds? Civ still sucks, confirmed. Sweet mamma jamma. Oh, I need thumb ring because Cavalry Archers have like 50% accuracy. Team where? Alright, well, I really need Cavalry Archers, so. Dude, there's like nothing that I hate more than playing like a arena game where I'm like boxed in. Got nowhere to go. Got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's just too much. There's no space. We gave you what you want. Give these people air. Give these people gold. Gold, please. Oh, thank you. Team where? There's two dudes. That's more than one dude. Oh wait, no, this is team. This is yes, team. Yes, team here. Woo. Oh yes, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. This is delicious. Where's your mangonel now? I love this game. It's so much fun. Team is here. We win. We win the video game. The whole thing. So hard to select individual villagers. I think Aoe2 strikes a really good balance between making a game that requires like too much busy work. Busy work is the word. And like actual intensive, interesting micro decision making. Yes! Resonance is back! What up? Please tell me you're winning this side. Good enough. Man, I'm hyped. Some good shit. Based no chill. I feel like I've played with this man before. It's a good game. I did get Masonry X Thomas. I'm on top of it this game. Where am I? I'm in there. I'm on board the can't stop, won't stop train. Oh, fuck yeah. Hashtag map control. Okay, so when I'm like really focused, it's really difficult for me to actually talk through in greater detail. This is why, again, one of the many reasons why I prefer casting in. I hate my building positioning. It sucks so much. Fuck. I'm gonna put this castle. I'm doing it. It's really difficult for me to talk through my thought process in greater detail, so as far as miscellaneous stuff goes that I'm doing, as far as my unit choices, there's a method to my madness always. In this case, I hate unit pathing in this broken, shitty game. Are those guys on my buildings? How do you do that? As far as my unit choices go, I need the Magyar Hussars, which I hopefully have shown their usefulness for a couple of reasons. One, I'm conserving gold, which I really need to do because I know that the gold mine at the front of my base is just too risky to hold on to. Oh, fuck. Alright, we're gonna lose this game anyway. It sucks. I won in spirit. This Hussar in particular lost, but... So I'm saving gold. These are value units for the cost. I need them to take out the siege weapons, too, which are what's keeping me alive. I think I have one of the most cost-efficient armies I could be making for this situation. This guy's... It's Ethiopians, right? I was like, if he's Malians, I've been... Are they both Ethiopians? No way. It's wiggity wiggity whack. Okay, well... I need to kill this castle. And I need to kill these guys. Like, right now. Okay. I prefer casting, because I can actually explain things, but if I actually have to win the game, it's difficult. But hopefully you can see the steps I'm taking to survive and... Oh, this clever girl! But this is why you put your castles like I did, because it doesn't matter if he gets in here. I've got an impregnable defense. I mean, we say impregnable, but it's good enough. That's not the type of thing that you want to hear from your engineers. Didn't I send those guys over there? Well, why don't I send this guy over here? Will Troy kill this castle in 2017? Find out. Okay. I have additional excess lumberjacks. I have excess wood because I need to shift sell it for meager piles of shekels because Cision did not give me guilds. Cision. A good Aoe2 player will adapt to the situation and build the units that make sense at the time. And then the game was out of sync, right? Oh, no. So, ooh, that was a pretty good shot. Wow, they might win that side. We could win this game. We'll pull it out. What a great game. Seriously, if you enjoyed this game at all, like, it means a lot to me when people actually share my stuff around. And take the time to leave a thumbs up and look at my other stuff. Claw my way out the pit for this. I could win this game. A lot of newer players tend to give up way too soon. I mean, we all know that guy on your team who's like, GG lol, the first military unit that he sees. And he starts flaming his team. Never flame. That's also a pro tip that applies to all games, but I try to give those in like just general advice for all games. Is that flaming your teammates doesn't accomplish anything. That's like the... You do that if you want to increase your chance of losing. Relentless positivity is what wins games. People, you don't want your teammates angry and tilting. You want the enemy team angry and tilted. Not your team. If you want to win at all, like, you should be the nicest person in the universe. You don't want your teammates to feel insecure. Also, you should just not be a bad person on the internet. That's just... or in general. Damn. Bringing it back! The Magyars. I really feel like I don't have much presence on Reddit. And I've never really mentioned in threads with other casters or anything. So it is nice to see my name brought up every now and then in a positive light. And hopefully this video better explains my process behind why I do things. It's nice to have an engaged, excited fan base. I don't really have the cult of personality that some do. Review of University and Blacksmith. Versus Resgo's full carry mode. I love it when this happens, man. This is awesome stuff. Remove Blacksmith and University. I don't see how that helps me right now. I do see how that helps me later, though. It might help me if I need to make trade cards, actually. Because I might be trading through there. I have a gold mine over there, so I don't know why I would delete those buildings. I know it's, like, clunky, but I think I enjoy having a horrendously, like, modern art MC Escher, whatever his name is, esque base. I think it's very, very important. As we can see here, I have been able to claw my way back in simply because I have a base that is just a real pain in the ass to deal with. It's really difficult to actually get units in there and do any real damage to me. Wow, I have so many gold mines. Why would I ever need to trade? I mean, it doesn't even matter if Yonagur's in here. Like, are you gonna walk right in my castles? Oh, this is great. Do need to probably queue up additional trebs, though. Oh my god, nice. What an amazing game of Age of Empires 2! What's your favorite res quote? Oh jeez, off the top of my head it's difficult to say, but I really liked the one that... See again, most people didn't upvote that one, but I liked the one that I gave about Elise Starseeker, I thought was kind of nice. Karis Claudine says, if you make longbows, I'll donate all my money. How much is all your money? No, I can't make longbows, I'm the... Magyars. Repair my trebs yellow. Things I never thought I'd hear. Oh, nice, nice, nice. What a great game. What a great game. Wow. Okay, so I just have to say that just gigantic props to Purple and Red for putting on one hell of a show. They gave me a run for my money. And gigantic props to Gray for pulling through for me, man. He never left me out to dry. Like, not once. And that's a good teammate. Team always comes first in team games, you know. Customer's always right. They need money, send them money. They need troops, send them troops. It's a team game. You win and you die together. Heat a shot, yeah. I like the level of support you gave me was good. It's good. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like, you just listen to the team. Then you're good. Oh, this is great. Great job, guys. Always also compliment your teammates. Morale's super duper important. Love that they got siege engineers. I think it's really, really important technology. It was one of the best games I've played in a while. I'm very happy with this one. I don't know, today I woke up and I, like, oddly didn't feel like death. And during the summer, that's atypical. It's just roulette, man. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and just want to go back to sleep. Today, though, today's pretty good. So, trap this. Trap this. It's also nice to, another little miscellaneous tip for games in general is when you are communicating with your teammates, and I know this might sound absurd, but it's true, try to phrase things as a suggestion and not a command. Now, sometimes you will be in a situation that feels as though you don't have the time to communicate that, you know, in full and very politely, but it is certainly worthwhile to do so. People are more inclined to do what you want if you make it sound like it's their idea. And also, it's just nicer to do it that way because, you know, you don't want to come off being like, you know what to do better, right? No one likes that. So instead, just be like, instead of being like, Singed, you fucking idiot, where is your force of nature? Be like, hey Singed, they have a lot of magic damage. You might want to build a force of nature, or I think a force of nature is a good idea. And then Singed is like, oh, force of nature, that is a good idea. But I can't build it, they removed that item from the game. How long has it been since this guy's played League of Legends? Fucking noob team, and then he reports you. Like, that's how I got to plat. My favorite res quotes are all the res quotes. I enjoy reading what people think about the stuff I say. Enjoy reading the subreddit. I'll probably put it in the video description. It's just reddit.com/r/resquotes. Really, it's just nice to see some buzz. Oh, nice. It's a good game, man. If only I could get people to watch my other stuff. One thing that also helps me out, I realize that it's very difficult for people to leave comments, so I value them more because it's too hard and nobody got time for that shit. What helps me a lot is when people tell me the things that they think I do well and I do right. Like, what are your favorite videos? Favorite moments of mine? What do you like about my style, etc. That way I can continue doing more of those things. It's always useful. Indeed, Melanie. And like I keep saying, you know, I to all the people who take the time to answer comments on my behalf also help cheer me up, because I get some silly ones. It saves me some time. I hear all the time that I should play Dota 2, but like I've probably played more Dota 2 than those people. They just don't know it. And again, it's not mutually exclusive. I think it's absurd to hold yourself to some game, like, oh, because I play X, I can't play Y. It's crazy. Play whatever you want. No one gives a shit. It's not a competition. I think that some people get upset when they see me playing things other than Aoe2. They're like, oh, he's cheating on me. He's seeing another game. Should be very, very happy that I'm doing that, because if not, I'd get burned out and I would quit. When people see me post other things, you'd be like, thank God Resonance is actually attempting to like play other things. That means he's probably going to be here for a while. Alright, well, now I might have to start trading, because this game's gone on for years. Unless there's like a gold mine that's just unoccupado. Nope. Random plague. Fuck. Okay. What is that unit path thing? Who saw that? Disgusting. I think one of the big differences with user patch is that, and the Aoe2 community is full of passion for starters, and you can feel that in the Age of Empires 2 expansion packs, I think, and you can really feel that in the user patch, is that they are labors of passion, and I think it's really important in design. Otherwise, you end up with unipathing like this. Okay, well, I think I've got this. Exhausting game. Should probably delete this guy. Poor fellow, he's gonna starve. Ah, nice. Fell on GG. GG, well played. Fun little fact, if you don't skip the ads on YouTube, I get more ad revenue. But ads are annoying, so use that as a moment to grab your nice, cool, refreshing can of Mountain Dew TM. I hate ads as much as the next guy. Ah, well. GG, well played. Hopefully you guys learned something and found this game entertaining. If you did, please let me know. Really appreciate it. As well as taking the time to check out my other stuff. Whew. Exhausting game, man. Barely have any energy left over to play Hearthstone, but I really do want to, for my own sanity. Ficho C. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, this one not hotkeyed? My boy. Thank you, Gaffle Spoon, for the $1. Really appreciate it, man. Every little bit helps. Thank you, thank you. Oh shit, deleted that. It's fucking, because it selects the wrong thing. For some reason it's backwards in Aoe2 HD. Or sometimes it selects buildings over units, which just it should never. So I don't really get that. Glad to hear it, Arnold Gox. This great game is interesting to watch. Togorock says, thank you, Resident 22. In the morning I was in a bad mood and it felt like I was turning into a wreck. Then after watching and playing your stream, I unconsciously became happy again. Oh, I'm really happy to hear that, Togorock. Thank you. Sometimes I feel that way too, man. And that's the goal behind everything I do. To provide a place where people can smile. Oh. 53 stone. What insane value. Could these guys, see, there's no nice way to say this, but can they resign so I can move on? There's no nice way to say that. I'm just exhausted. One of my things, I enjoy, even though Hearthstone's a really different game than Aoe2, I really enjoy it because it's the type of game that you can actually play after a long day at work. Oh, thank God. GG, well played. But Aoe2 is an exhausting game, man. It's exhausting. But that's what makes it so interesting to watch and play after all these years, is there's just so much to it. I'd say Aoe2 it never gets old, that's not true, but it's certainly always entertaining. It almost never gets old. That's why I dig it when you guys check out the other stuff. God damn it. Stop not dying! What time is this? 4 p.m. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is great. Played a lot. I wish people would ask me more interesting questions during my streams. I got plenty of fun little anecdotes for people, as well as other games I'm passionate about. But people are usually surprised. I think that my average viewer assumes I'm like this huge RTS buff, and that's like all I play. I actually don't play that many RTS games outside of Aoe2. I got the 53 stone. Hell yeah. I generally don't. Some of my favorite games may surprise you, but I'll have you know I'm a man of culture, and I like a wide variety of good games. Guild Wars 2 is great. Looking forward to Pathfire. Thank you, Dark Berserk, for the 6 months resub. Really appreciate it. Says, love your streams and keep up the good work. Thank you. Play Roblox. If you want to see it. Whatever gives me some much needed variety. For a creative person like myself, streaming is can be a little monotonous, but you guys keep it interesting. Oh, I got spies. It's not going to speed up the game. At a point, I'm going to ask him to resign out of courtesy, but it's a really rude thing. Everything I do in life, I try to do looking at it from the other person's perspective too. I think there's a lot of value in that. And if you, like, I always stop myself before I do anything, like, well, what would it be like if I was on the receiving end of this action? Would I like it? Would I not like it? And that defines a lot of the things that I do as a person. It makes me me. That's why I run this stream the way I do. So, me going in all chat and being like, can you resign please, is, ooh, that's BM. Especially if you add lol at the end. Don't do that. That's pretty bad. Can you resign, please, lol? I'm not a big fan of centipedes. Favorite map? Maybe Arena. Haven't played Endless Legend. My favorite map's actually Black Forest. High rated Black Forest, if you've watched Mem stream at all, you'll know it is absolutely nothing like the 50-minute, like, no rush spaghetti fest that is low rated Black Forest. High rated Black Forest is awesome. That's what I used to play on Boobly back when I was playing ranked games there. It was the 1600 plus rated Black Forest games. It was like 1684 or something like that? I don't remember. Yeah, it's a lot different than the low rated Black Forest games. I found those really fascinating. I just liked how the metagame was kind of flipped from Arabia, and that things that were bad in Arabia were good. And I felt like Civs just had a lot of options. It was interesting. Rady Teddy said, if I could remake the decision, would I still have studied poli-sci? If not, what would you study now? If I could go back in time, there are so many things I would rather, I would do over. But I think that my mistakes in life have helped define me as a person, so it's a trade-off. Like, would I have wanted to turn out differently? I don't know. It is not clear if I would have turned out any better if I didn't make those mistakes. Did those mistakes benefit me? I'd consider... So it's difficult for me to say whether or not I would go back and study something else. I'm gonna say maybe. In that I'm really not using my poli-sci degree. I don't know what I would really study. School was never really for me. I've always been into games. And I'd always wanted to get into the games industry. That's always been my passion. I'm a creative person. I like to build things, and I've always wanted to build a game. That's what I would love to do. Can you? All right. If you don't mind, please do not waste everyone's time, and please resign. Nobody cares about your wall. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I had to do it at some point. I never understood the people who wall their villagers in the corner. Is that fun for them too? GG, well played. Thank you, A. Smith says, excellent game, well played by all. Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone back. That's a good question, though, and I wish I would get more questions like that. I don't know if I would go back and study something else. I think I learned a lot of interesting things. I don't know what I would have studied instead, but I probably could have had a better decision tree there. I am glad, though, that I did YouTube in the first place, and that while I was doing school, I was still pursuing my passions in my free time, and it felt like, in that respect, I had kind of a balance, and it ended up working out for me. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. I will say that my time spent in school, though, like, didn't really prepare me for the things I needed in life. But yeah, I don't know. Tough question. I did forget the little Tokugawa. Also good to see you again. Study political science. Henry the Fortunate, I think you played an excellent game. I think everybody in this game played a fantastic game. I would say that you built relatively the correct units. The Ethiopians have a fairly broad tech tree. If you are taking advantage of your archer range, like your arbalest, are very excellent. You have great halberdiers, Shotel warriors, siege weapons. Elite skirmishers are acceptable. As far as your stable goes, it's not so great. I'm not a big fan of the Ethiopian stable, so some combination of infantry, archers, and siege weapons is really good, as well as your unique unit if necessary. I think you did a pretty good job with that. Do note that every single one of the Ethiopians' siege weapons are great, due to the torsion engines tech. Doesn't let us win Splatoon 4. I don't have the money to stream Splatoon. I would love to, but I don't have the money to do that. If you mean as when's coming out, dude, I can't wait. Splatoon 2 is so much fun. I know, right, to do it out. Be my pleasure, Death Zebra. Yeah. Always try and put yourself in their shoes. I really recommend not saying, "Can you please resign, Lil?" Every time I'm like about to yell at someone or say something rude to them, I'm like, wait, how would I feel if someone said that to me? And I try and stop myself. Kind of 1v1 Melanie for the lulz this year, the bows. I really don't like to do 1v1s. Being on YouTube puts me under an unfair amount of scrutiny. I played my ranked games on Voobly. I did my service. I hate playing like those kind of competitive 1v1 ranked games. Yeah, I always just get to, when I play games, I get to like just enough of an elo to where people take my advice somewhat seriously and don't call me bad, because I really prefer to study games and like cast them. That's more of my passion, rather than trying to be the best player mechanically. I like to understand games on a deeper level, so that's why, you know, and I got to Plat 5 in League of Legends. I got to Plat 5 just so people would stop messaging me and being like, you should do X or Y, or, you know, they wouldn't take my advice very seriously. I think that actual skill level in game is not always proportional to your knowledge of the game, but that just goes to, that's like the whole talking point of this video, is they're not mutually exclusive things. That's why I got the 1680 on Voobly. It's like, that's good enough. I don't need to play any more 1v1s. What about 1v7? Where the Viper is 1 and you're part of the 7 with AI? It depends on what the AI difficulty is. The Viper might be like like a god at this game, but he actually might be able to win that. If he cheeses me out and the AI is like really buggy, maybe. Okay, well, I am exhausted. I really wanted to stream Hearthstone today. I did for the expansion, but I just don't think I have the energy to do that, which is unfortunate, but maybe I will do that at another day. I don't know. I'm exhausted. This is a tough game. So maybe I'll do that later. Positive encouragement definitely helps me. You guys are awesome. I will shamelessly link my other stuff so you guys can go check that out. I have the ResQuest subreddit. I have Twitter. I have Facebook. I need more followers on social media because that's what all the cool kids are doing. And if you need more AoE content and stuff, it's all on my YouTube page. Damn. Wish they invited me to Gamescom. Be so cool if I was a part of that meetup. Alas, alas. So here are my other pages, and all the Aoe2 stuff you need is on YouTube. My next non-Aoe2 video is like, what, my Advanced Wars video, and I will do more non-Aoe2 stuff in the future, but today's been a long one. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, being awesome. I'm going to run a quick ad. You did great, the Black Ones. See command. Hey, Devastot. I've heavily considered doing a bad fake accent of some kind, Tokaraka, during a stream. I think we get old, but my favorite one is a really bad, fake, over-the-top Russian accent is my favorite one. Haven't played them, X Thomas. I'm sure they're good games. Thank you, Teslana, for plugging my Twitch channel. See you, Salty. See you, Clint Khan. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you, McKay. Ray says, thanks for the entertainment. Stream's really good due to you being in a good mood. It showed. Glad to hear it, man. Can't wait to post this one on YouTube and see what everyone thinks. See you, Boar. See you, Dancing Waldo. Alright, gonna run a quick ad, and maybe I'll just chill, play some Hearthstone or something. Or some Splatoon. Ooh, or some Guild Wars Path of Fire demo.